Hey you, subscribe for more Overwatch League content. You'll like it, I promise. What do we got first? Yaki BQB. Yeah, Yaki BQB on another level, honestly. Especially Yaki. If it wasn't for Yaki, I don't know where this team would be. Yaki makes one too many plays for this team. If it wasn't for Yaki, Florida would be losing a lot. Honestly, let's be real chat. If it wasn't for Yaki, Florida would not be making it as far as they did in May Melee. If you watch the coach streams of me and Dustin Bowerman, we talk about Yaki a lot. Like, oh, Yaki's alive, they're fine, they're good. Yaki is such a playmaker for this team. Yeah, BQB still like a consistent hits game player, better than some hits games in the league, honestly, that we never compared to him like last season. So BQB Yaki, definitely top tier. What do we got next? Fleta Lip. They made a lot of changes that were good. Lip playing the Tracer, one of the best Tracers. Fleta playing his things, still one of the best. Fleta's Tracer was still very up and down, but Lip had a Tracer all of a sudden. Don't know where it came out of, but Lip Fleta gotta be S tier. If it wasn't for them in the May Melee, who knows where they would be. Fleta's made a lot for Fate making plays. Lip and Fleta also making a lot of plays together. These guys are crazy. Ivy and Flora. These guys are probably the best part of NYXL. I think these guys are the best part of NYXL easily. Ivy still has great performances. Obviously, it's going to be pulled back being on this worst of a team. That was predicted from me and a lot of other people in the past. When it came to making the predictions list, that Ivy was not going to be as good on this team because of how worse of a team it was. Flora, very underrated. I'd say Flora still has great performances on the Kree. That's mostly what I've seen him on. Maybe I have not caught up to a lot of NYXL, or if I forgot NYXL. But Flora, all I've seen is him play Kree so far. Obviously some Ashe. It's not like bad. It could be better. Obviously it could be better. I'd love to see what Guangboon could do in this team, but I'm guessing I'm going to trust the coaches here, that they went through a lot of tryouts and scrims, see who the better hits game was, and ended up being Flora coming out on top. Decay and Assassin. Don't know. I mean, Assassin's been very up and down of a flex DPS player. Decay still has a lot of good performances. Sometimes he doesn't show up in those games. Decay, speaking on Decay. But Assassin, with like his Sombras, there's a lot of things going on here with Decay and Assassin. Yeah, his May. Thank you for bringing that one up. I forgot about his May. Assassin needs to work, but they both need to work on stuff. But I still think Decay still has shown performance. I think Decay still shown a little bit more better performances compared to Assassin. It is still the start. They did have a somewhat easy and rough schedule, but they also aren't that good at the rush meta. Very brawly. They aren't that good at that just yet, and you can see they were struggling with it during their games. So we'll see what goes on with them later. That is also another thing. Also, Jamie, Jerry. Very crazy of a player, which I don't think he deserves the hate he's getting on Justice. I've seen some people hate on Justice, but Jerry's a playstyle, thing. When Jerry's in, they want to play that super aggressive playstyle Jerry has. I think it was perfect from, Dogman, if y'all know him as, when we're doing the co-stream. He said it before the game started, he's all aim, no brain. I was like, okay, I mean, sure, let's see how that goes. And yes, it was very true. He was holding W a lot, very aggressive, but that guy's aim's crazy. And that was like a playstyle thing, putting Jerry in, and I think it actually works. So hopefully they use it a little bit more. If not, put Jerry over Decay a little bit, see how Jerry Assassin perform together. So that'd be interesting. Birdring and Kevster. That sucks. That sucks to put him there. Kevster on ping though? He was on ping last season, dog. But he still performed high tier. Same thing goes with Birdring. It's just the coaching staff. It's holding them back so much. Let's just move on. I don't want to talk about it more. Leave in Jimmy. Ooh, S or A these guys are. S or A, easily. S? Even Jinmu. Let's talk about Jinmu too. Leave Jinmu. Yeah, I'll put him S. These guys, Leave especially. Leave has been so consistent since the start of the season on like Tracer, especially, and his Echo, Kree. This guy is such a crazy, aggressive, consistent hits game player. And when it comes to Jimmy, at first I wasn't impressed by him, but I watched him a little bit more, a little bit closely, especially. Like, this guy actually makes a lot of plays that aren't being talked about, especially on like the Widowmaker. You have Jinmu, who plays a lot of the Pharah. These guys are crazy. Hunters, DPS duo, fantastic. These guys are. What's next? Toronto Defiant, Hisu, and Nice. Hisu's good. Nice is all right. Yeah, I'll put these guys B. Hisu's still very consistent. Really good performances on like the Kree, especially. Sombra occasionally. You have Nice. I mean, Nice is all right. I think he'll pick it up as the season goes on. His May's been all right. His Echo's been one of his best heroes, I would say, in the Overwatch League, but playing as Echo. Duplicating, not so much. Tracer, on the other hand, occasionally has some good performances, some throwing ones. I think Nice and Hisu have a lot of potential, and I've said that since the start of the season. These guys have potential. Okay, so I know Eileen played, but Mike Haley played way more. I don't think they're D because how much Troy Siwan is good for this team. I really don't think that. Like, Troy Siwan has done so much for the Charge, but like he's a top player for the Charge. Mike Haley on the other hand, I have not been impressed with Mike Haley just yet. Positioning wise, I mean, trying to get a kill wise, for his team to make a play to go in. Mike Haley has like had not that much impact in game. Where I know as Eileen was in, there was a little bit more impact on the other hand. So London Spitfire. Let's just say London Spitfire, shall we? Shax has been, I said it earlier in the stream and I said it on a video. Y'all know what I'm probably about to say. Shax is almost like an effect on London Spitfire. If you don't know who Effect was, he's a former Dallas Fuel player. And all Effect wanted to do was he knew his team wasn't good and he tried to make a play. And yes, Effect did that occasionally. Where you have Shax, he's kind of like that too. Shax is one of those players where he's like, okay, my team's not that good and I need to make a play. Which he's also done a few of those, but his team doesn't actually go in on those. Like one time Shax got, I think, a Widow and his Mercy, and the London Spitfire did not walk in. That's such like an advantage to your team to go in and win that fight, but they just didn't go in. They let those two spawn back and they lost the fight right after. So it's a lot of like Shax, yes, he's kind of making a play and nothing's working. Blase, on the other hand, it's the only flex DPS player. I will say he's looked better so far this season compared to his Houston Outlaws season. Godsby and Architect, yes, I do know Shy played like the last game on Spark, but Godsby was played way more. And with that, B or C, I think, honestly, C. Like Architect so far doesn't look that, okay, before I go on this more, I do think Spark are going to look way better in the next tournament because of the coaching changes. But with how they performed in the May Melee was very poor from Godsby and Architect. Architect did not make that many plays. He looked very lost majority of the time. Same thing goes with Godsby. He was trying to make a play here and there. It was just a lot of things. Absolutely. I do think if Shy was in way more, they would. If Shy was in way more, these guys would be. But I do think these guys will pick up later throughout the season. So far, just how May Melee performance goes by, they were not that good. Houston Outlaws, Dante and Happy, as expected. These guys are still top tier. Dante, Happy, very flexible with the DPS line. Happy has been so good on the Widow, the Hanzo. Whatever Happy's played so far this season has been consistently good. High tier performances. Same thing goes with Dante, playing the Tracer, playing the Sombra. These guys are crazy. I think Outlaws DPS are S. Hey, I wouldn't mind that, but for me, I'm going to put him A. Potential to be S tier, absolutely. But so far, I'm going to put him A. I don't want to hype up just yet, but A so far, I think they will stay here. What's next? Vancouver Titans, Dalton Teru. Dalton has been underwhelming in a sense to what I thought he was going to look. Whereas you have Teru, surprised me. It surprised me by a lot, actually, how good he's been performing on the Vancouver Titans with his May. Like, his May wall usage is some of the best in the league, and Teru with his May, been consistent top tier. May-wise, like, this guy has been performing at a top level for Vancouver Titans. Using his ult's been good. Wall usage has helped out this team by a lot, with Fried going in and Sherlock going in. I think if they had some better players, I think they would be dominating way more with Teru on the May. Absolutely. What's next? The Sparkle Doha Duo. Let's do that real quick. Let's do this real quick. Where's Chengdu Hunters? Do this. Yes, sir. Got it. What a surprise from both of these players, eh? What a surprise from both of them. Doha still being a top Sombra in the league. EMP usage is crazy good. Doha playing the Echo has improved a lot throughout the season. At the start, I would say it's been very, but it got better. You have Doha also playing Farah. That's probably his weakest hero so far he's shown. Sparkle, on the other hand, talk about improvement. Tracer, one of the better tracers in the league so far. What I mean by that is, I mean so far. I really do mean so far. It's the start of the season. He's looked good on the Tracer so far in the Overwatch League season. You have Soldier. You have Soldier. Came out of nowhere, but it's what he's comfortable with, and it worked, right? It worked. They really pocketed the Soldier going in. You have Doha's Genji. That was over here I was thinking about. Doha on the Genji. Everyone thought it was a throw pick, going against Shanghai Dragons on Gibraltar, but Doha was dominating on the Genji. Sparkle on like Reaper. It was good, but these guys switched a lot when they needed to. They suffered by not having a main hit scan player like XZ, but Sparkle came through playing the Tracer, which is honestly all they needed in this meta. So Sparkle, Doha improved a lot in the offseason. Also, these guys were a duo back in Element Mystic. These guys were a really good duo. I know a lot of people thought XZ and Sparkle were the duo a lot in Element Mystic, which yes, I think they did play occasionally, but Doha and Sparkle were like the duo on Element Mystic, and these guys brought it back once again this season, and it's still good. There's still good Hackfist meta. Yeah, if we were going to a Doom Summer meta, which I think could happen again some point down the road, it's going to be crazy. Carpe Rascal. A tier, not S. I just think when I'm looking at DPS duos, the guys above Philly right now where I have them, they performed way better so far compared to Carpe Rascal. I mean, yes, Rascal, he came through playing his hit scan. Carpe, on the other hand, he's still showing good performances on like the Widow. Occasionally, you still have him playing Tracer, which isn't top tier as it once was back in 2018. I know a lot of people are surprised by Rascal, but if you've been watching Overwatch League since season 1 and NRG days, Rascal has been like always a good Tracer player. When you're on Shock, you're not going to play the Tracer because there's Striker. Why would you have Rascal playing Tracer over Striker? Okay, Paris Eternal. Onigod and Naga. Onigod has had performances, but Naga, I have not been impressed with Naga just yet. Onigod's look good though. I think Onigod does like so much for this team that sometimes isn't in the kill feed. These guys aren't super flashy, but they do a lot damage-wise. Onigod helps his team push in. Speaking on the tank duo, positioning-wise, these guys honestly are somewhat good at positioning, somewhat. But it's really hard to say how they can perform because they're so this team's not good. The coaches are all right. The tanks definitely aren't the best tanks. Then you have the support duo, which melee it was Neptuno Khan, but now we're moving to the June Joust, and forward it's gonna be Dredro. These guys are gonna be good. Tsuna's A tier Tracer though. Yeah, Tsuna, fantastic Tracer player. We can talk about that as well. I think with the Tsuna, Onigod, fantastic hit scan players. I think easily. I think they're gonna be C. They're a C tier of a DPS duo right now. I think Naga has some more time to improve throughout the entire season. So far, not been impressed with him. Onigod has been one of those clutch players on the McCree, on the Ashe, where he honestly does make a lot of plays. Occasionally, he gets the triple kill when he needs to, double. He's a clutch of a player on the Paris Eternal that is needed. Pelican and Kai. Ooh, A or B? Absolutely. C? Disagreed. I think Pelican, still good. Kai, good. It just sucks that they're not on a top team. But I think they're A. They're still A tier team, A tier duo. But they are held back from like Gator Hawk and Masa Iris. But these guys could easily be S tier, but right now they are going to say A tier right now. Kai still comes in with like those LE Valiant performances like Widow and Ashe, especially. Kree. This guy's crazy still, absolutely. Then you have Pelican. Like this guy's Mei's crazy. Well, one of the best Mei's in the league, hands down. That's all I really remember him playing so far is just the Mei. During like the big parts of Mei Melee, the final parts where I came to the qualifiers and like the bracket run, Mei wasn't used a lot actually. I mean, there was obviously some Mei maps where you had to play Mei, but like normal regular games, it was mostly just Mei. So that's all I can really talk about with Pelican. Like his Mei is definitely one of the best. Wall usage is one of the best as well. I'm 37 and Valentine. Talk about our disappointing duo so far. I'm thinking C or B for these guys. Valentine has been kind of pee-pee poo-poo. And then you have I'm37. I mean, does not look comfortable a lot during games. They need Soon. Yeah, I think Soon was a big part of their DPS duo. You could tell I'm37's Tracer is not the best, and you have like his Kree as well. I'm kind of confident putting them C. And they're also putting Valentine on Doom. Yeah, see, I don't know what this is with this like whole composition thing, putting Valentine on Doom. Yes, it's worked occasionally. It has worked, but long term, even like the meta we're in right now, May Melee, I think it's gonna even go over to June Joust. Like this is just not good. Like what they're doing with this DPS duo, it's not on them. It's more the coaching staff. I'm putting them C though. I'm comfortable putting them there. I'm37 has not impressed me so far this season. You know, we're talking about his Ashe, his Tracer, his McCree. Does not look comfortable on any of those. And same thing goes with Valentine, like I said already. He's playing like Doomfist. That's the coaching staff, obviously. His May doesn't look awful. And then you have Sombra. And I'm putting him C. I'm putting him C. Molarin and Crystal. Honestly, the best part of LA Valiant. Easily best part of LA Valiant. Crystal has been consistently good all season long, in my opinion. Molarin, on the other hand, can only play Tracer. And Echo, I would say. His Echo does not look that bad. So with that, I'm putting them C. They're the best part of LA Valiant. Crystal's still solid, consistent. That's what that was expected from Crystal. It really was. Molarin, if he was a little bit more flexible, I think this DPS duo could even go B. But with him only being able to play like Tracer and Echo, mostly the Tracer is holding them back. Okay, these final DPS duos, this is going to get crazy. Fitz and Prophet. Prophet's still good. Fitz, not bad. Not bad performances from Fitz. Prophet's still good. Tracer, Echo, still good. Seen A's, B's. Better. They're better than people in B. I'm going to put them in, well, I don't know. Fitz being there. I don't know. Fitz has just been kind of all right this season so far. Prophet's still been top tier every time I've watched them. I'll put them A. They're low A. They are definitely low A. Absolutely. Prophet's still good on Tracer. All the heroes he plays all around when it comes to like even like the May. Prophet's still good. Fitz, like I said already, kind of all right. His Ashe has been decent. It's not bad. That's all I got to say about the Soul Dynasty DPS duo. Then we move on to the final one. Shock. Narrow and Striker. This is mostly the main DPS duo from Shock right now. Yes, it changes occasionally with like Violet coming in. Glisters came in a little bit. But Striker's still good. I would still say Striker's good. Narrow, on the other hand, that's not bad. I'm thinking A. Personally. I'm thinking A. Striker's still good. Narrow isn't god-awful as people make him out to be. Violet comes in occasionally. I disagree with that move. Glister comes in like he comes in like occasionally. So with that, we're gonna put Shock low A. They are definitely better than the ones in B. Absolutely. I think even with how they perform so far this season, I think Striker's still good. I think we can all agree Striker's still good. Performing high tier performances, very consistent. Narrow, on the other hand, very up and down to a player. He's sometimes playing the Sombra. His May's not been super impressive, especially if his wall usage. Like I'm talking like when you look at who's an example. Teru's wall usage, way better than Narrow's. Absolutely. So I think this is it. So let me look over it one time. Yay or nay? Philly go up or no? I wouldn't care. Personally. I think they're fine. Okay. Fusion staying in A. High A though. Keep that in mind. Philly staying in high A. But that's it. That's the duos tier list chat.